Hello and welcome to day 24 of Adventures in Tarot Casting for the month of October 2025. Today we are working with the Slowing Down sticker, which is this. There's the back. This the Casting Cards Oracle is now currently in my Make Playing Cards print on demand shop. So if you've been enjoying this series and you want to create your own book, we sell the stickers and the cards can be found on Make Playing Cards. Link is in the show notes. Here is my corresponding page. This is what I've drawn with. I use the Tombow marker pens. I really like the way they blend together and that I can write from one end and use a brush tip and everything. So it's really just helps to imbue my own energy into the book and create almost like a tarot casting grimoire, if you will. So this particular sticker was heavily inspired by the Empress card from my felt tarot. Let me grab that real quick. I have that right here. You would think that I would know that I was going to mention that and I would have it at the ready, but I did not. But here it is. So I wanted to bring that cornucopia and bring it into here and then see what portal it opens up, right? And so for this, we have a turtle, which I just love turtle energy. It's kind of like, you know, home is where you make it and you're carrying that with you. And it's kind of just taking a slower approach. You can still be fast. Turtles do actually move pretty fast, especially the box turtles that are here and are part of the woods. And then we have some snails, and these snails are kind of borrowed from the Nine of Pentacles, like the garden and the idea that we have abundance of life. And then I have healing herbs. We have the oyster mushrooms here, the baby garlic here, the baby ginger here, some more mushrooms, turkey tails, and then some succulents and crystals. Like I just wanted it to feel really lush and lavish and just a break from the everyday world. Like maybe this is one of the other alternate lands that Alice would experience in Wonderland, you know, like following the turtle brings you into this garden. So the energy, you know, we have a few different positions. I have a regular size tarot card here, 2 pocket cards, a tile, and then 3 smaller tiles, which I usually use for Lenormand, and then some circles that kind of bring you into those guideposts or the points of ponder. So let's just get into the demo. I wanted to pick some decks that I thought would like pair with the energy of it. So I've got the Orion's Tarot. It's a really pretty watercolor animal theme, and I thought that would lend really well. So basically, this main focus, which is the turtle coming out of the portal, is exiting the portal, slow and steady energy. What you carry with you, what has contributed to needing to take a less urgent approach, right? I know lately there's been a lot of hustle and bustle, and I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but it's time to slow down, right? Like, especially going into, like we're entering into winter, so watching the leaves change and all that is really contributing to the desire to slow down. So let's just see the energy that we're bringing from our busy world into this garden. Let's see if I can shuffle. The sun. Oh, look at that. It's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. Okay, I'll put that there. So our energy is maybe, this is slow and steady, what we carry with us, what has contributed to needing to take a less urgent approach. And I see the sun as, maybe we've been shining too brightly and we've just need a recharge, right? Like we may be at this point where we're like, oh my God, everything all at once coming in. It's just too loud, visually, emotionally. The brightness is just everywhere, and too much brightness can be a reason to need to slow down. Maybe you need to find a way to retreat a little bit. And so the sun shining, and it could also be guiding the way into this. I love how the circle of this is actually mimicking the cornucopia. So this is what's contributing, and it's just maybe showing up and being on all the time, right? So then we have the snails are our greeters. They receive us into this new world. And so we have the second one down here, and this is the energy that greets you, a leisurely liaison, an assistant to help lighten the load. So I'm using from the Maia Toll Herbiary, Beastieary, and Crystaliary books. I know that they have a deck now, but these were the cards that came with each of the books, so I just put them all into one pile. So I have no idea what we're going to get. But I felt like they all three of them contributed to this garden, right? Because they're made up of the lands that we're made up of. So we've got the energy that greets us, leisurely liaison. This is our assistant to help tone it down. And we've got center and ground. This is red clover. So the red clover also is, we've got the bees and the anatomical heart, and it's saying you need to center and ground. You need to find your, slow down your heartbeat. You need to bring things back to focus on what's important, the things that nourish you, the little things that can help regulate your nervous system, right? And so that's a perfect energy for slowing down, is to, hey, I see that you're here and you're feeling extra radiating. So let's calm it down. Let's bring you from a 10 down to maybe a 2, right? And so red clover is going to help us do that. And in the day, maybe you find some tea that you want and get some clover tea, or I don't know, is that a thing? I'm not good with herbs. But maybe just have a good cup of herbal tea. And then we have 3, which is the pocket snail up here, another pocket card. This is the higher vantage point, zooming out to assess the full situation. Like the lookout almost. And we have, what are you becoming? Well, that's just on point with this reading, isn't it? And I know I've been saying that in some of the other ones. So we have amber, and it's saying like those facets of you, like I look at this and I see that they're crystallized in the amber. Those facets of you will always remain. They're always going to be part of those, there's no undoing those parts of your past, but it's asking you, they can be tokens towards your future, like little touchstones of who you are becoming. So once you get into this state of groundedness and centeredness, we can take it out from a higher viewpoint that we need to slow down because we need to make space for who we are becoming, the next chapter, the next phase, just that transition. And so in this next spot we have, thanks Braxton, that was... In this next spot, we have the tile that is a shift in perspective. You could still use another pocket card if you wanted to, but I threw in all the stuff for this one. So again, you can use the tools that you have. You have all of them, use them. If you don't, then that's also fine. This one is the shift in perspective. This is the suggestion to implement the slowdown in order to see who we are becoming, right? Usually I just shuffle till it feels right. And we have the King of Cups over here. And this is from my Rider-Waite Redux tiles. The King of Cups is saying, shift in perspective. Become a master of your emotions. Don't give out to everybody just because you can doesn't mean you need to, right? There is such a thing as giving too much of yourself. So this is like helping you bring in your emotional boundaries and thus making the better decisions for what's going to really help you step into your next role. And the King of Cups is, he's that watery part of fire, to quote T. Susie Chang from her Four Stories book, which is really, really good. But the watery part of fire is saying, think about that. Like, he's nice, he's warm, think about warm water, but then like don't get to the point where you need the boiling point, right? So be a master of your emotions. We've got King Triton, and then we've also got, just gentle rain. So just know when to show up in those manners. For the tiny tiles, of course, I have my Sawyer's Lenormand. And these are the garden path. So this is like what's in the way, obstacles or moments to savor. These will help show the action steps or inaction to take. So depending on the energy of the Lenormand reading, it could be, sit and stay here in this garden for a little bit longer. It's okay to just bask in the slowness of things growing and healing and even dying, because, without the death, the mushrooms wouldn't show up. So it's kind of like we can stay, or saying, okay, enough. You're rested, you're centered in your heart. You have a good idea of what you're carrying with you and what needs to stay crystallized. Your boundaries are in check. And so then we can move on. So let's see what the Lenormand has to say about the garden path. And I have 3. And we've got the cross, the dog, and the mice. So it looks like we're going to stay a little bit longer in this garden path, because there's still some things that I feel like are possibly eating away at us, with the cross and the dog and the mice. It's saying, being too loyal could be a burden. It's kind of like, are you going to stick with your friends if they're making bad decisions? It's okay to start changing your mind. And when all the little things start popping up, that's kind of like shows you it's time to leave too, right? So it's just saying proceed with caution when you do go. Stay true to your core. And then understand that not everything is going to be like a big lifetime test that's part of your story. It could just be little blockages. And the path ahead, change is always going to have us face the discomfort and uncomfortable parts of us. But having the dog there shows me that, as long as you stay loyal to who you are at your core, it's going to be okay, because we're in the garden to recharge and to slow down. And in that space, it gives us the time to sit and analyze those parts of us, and maybe even enjoy the fact that we've been able to come through and analyze and sit with them. So then I have these spots you could use crystals, runes, charms, anything like that. I'm using the words or spells buttons. These are healing helpers. Optional, one we have for the cornucopia, and then we have the mushrooms. So they're just going to be like little touchstones. And we have inquiry. So the garden is a really great spot for some self-inquiry. And then we have transform, because that's what we are doing, is transformation. And then delicious. Be sure to nourish the things and like soak in the delicious parts of life. It could be food, it could be moments, it could be people, places, just make room for that, because things still are delicious. And then we have illuminate. And at the end of the day, this is all for our illumination. It's all for us to gain higher insights and become who we are becoming. So that is one way that I use this spread. It's been very good. I've used this a few times for our week aheads. I do really enjoy it. So let me know if you used it, if you've gotten some really good insights from it, if it's one of your favorites, or if it's one that you're just kind of maybe gave a pass to, but now maybe with this demo you'll give it a second thought. Let's see what we're working on with tomorrow. Coming down into the last week. And we have impermanence. Oh, impermanence. This one is perfect for segueing from this, like, because this has the mushrooms in this. So tomorrow we will be working with impermanence. I hope you have a good day. I will see you here tomorrow. Bye.